strong faith. Muhammad asked, what is Iman, right? That absolute faith. He said, no, y'all ain't there yet. He said, but say you submit. And he knows these are Pacific people we're talking to, but we're brought in here. But say you submit to Islam. And he said, because faith has not fully entered into your heart. And then it says, Allah says to Muhammad, he says, وَإِن تُطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. And he says, but if you believe and follow Allah and His messenger, obey Allah and His messenger, Allah won't discount anything that you have done. In other words, you come to Islam. La ilaha illallah, progress. But this is specific. He said, don't say you believe this Iman. This is what he's talking to them specific. And he said, because this true faith have not truly entered here. Well, Allah says in Qur'an, if Muhammad dies, right, or is killed, will you turn on your heels, right? And Allah says, He speaks of the yuqinun, those who are certain. Have you, asked yourself, have you reached that level where you're absolutely certain, no matter what, if the world is going to blow up, are you willing to stand and say, I'm done on this, man? That's what he's talking. Have you reached that absolute level of faith? Say, I believe, I'm submitting, I'm praying, I'm doing this, but I'm growing, man. So Allah says this comes to Muhammad the Prophet. He says, say, it has not entered your heart, but it says, but if you obey Allah and His messenger, Allah won't discount anything you've done. And He says, Allah says, Inna Allaha Ghafurun Rahim. And ayah 14 ends by saying, and Allah is all forgiving, as we was pointing out, the most merciful. Always remember that. Don't be hard on yourself. Correct yourself. Do what you can do. Know that Allah is kind and merciful. And make tawbah. We always make mistakes. Never justify it. Try to correct ourselves. But Allah ain't sitting somewhere to punish us. We know that, but every surah except one starts out letting us know He's most gracious, most merciful. In Al-Fatiha, which we have except at Badaniya, Kitab is called also, we have to say in every rak'ah before you get to any other surah, right? You can love Rahman, you can love Yasin, right? You can love any surah, As, Ali Imran. When you stand for Salat, you can't go to them before you go to Al-Fatiha, right? And what do Allah say in Al-Fatiha? Will we say it aloud now? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? He's most gracious, most merciful, beneficent, merciful, right? Merciful, benefactor, most within. But watch this. There's only 7. And then what's the next ayat? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And what's the third one? He brings you back to the top. Out of 7, he mentions that He's Rahman Rahim twice. And it really comes to 4 times because Rahman Rahim come from the same root. They both mean merciful, mercy, but the intensity. Now just think of that. So you know He wants us to remember more than anything, He's most kind and merciful. And when we end the salat, what do we say? Assalamu alaikum. What? Wa rahmatullah. Peace be unto you. And then mercy. We start out mentioning rahmah and we end mentioning it, right? So Allah ends this ayah after saying that, so we don't take it on. No, I'm forgiven and I'm merciful. And then we're just going to go through these ayats. Here, the next ayat in the Surah Hashr, 49. Then Allah says, now it comes to believers. Allah says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Allah says, only those who believe are believers who believe in Allah and in His messenger. And this is what it says here. It says, and in His messenger, ثُمَّ لَمْ يَلْتَفِتْ careful and have no doubt at all. Believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger and have absolutely no doubt at all. وَجَاهَدُوا بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ وَأَنفُسِهِمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And they strive, jihad, they strive with their wealth, their possessions, and look, أَنفُسِهِمْ, and their soul themselves. Right? Those are believers who follow, believe in Allah and His Messenger with no doubt. And they strive, jihad, best jihad on itself, with their wealth, with their possessions, and with their soul, fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah. And Allah says, Ulaika humu sadiqun. These are the truthful ones. And in the next ayat 16, Allah goes back to those who, I guess at that point negative, who was pretending like they believed. And Allah says this anyway. Allah says, we'll read it and you read it yourself. Allah says, Qul atu'allimuna Allah, listen to this, bidinikum, that they try to instruct Allah about their deen. It says, Qul, say, you hear element, element, to teach. They try to teach Allah bidinikum. You want to tell Allah what the deen is about? And Allah says, Wallahu ya'lamu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ardi, Wallahu bi kulli shay'in alim. And they say, you're going to try to instruct Allah about the deen? And Allah knows what's in the heavens and what is in the earth, and He has knowledge of all things. Beautiful Qur'an. You stay in the Qur'an. And we'll close with this. We just went from 13 to 18. So now, ayat 17. And you're familiar with this, we say all the time. They say, Yamununa alayka an aslamu. They act like it's a favor to you that they have come to Islam. And we heard that, right? Oh, they act like there ain't no favor on me. So they say to us, they act like it's a, I'm going to become a Muslim. All right, man, okay, you treat me right. Give me a couple, man, remember I became a Muslim for you, man. For me? So Allah says, they put that on, Allah says, as a favor, alayka, unto you, and Islamu, Islam, that they come to Islam. This is what Muhammad the Prophet had to deal with, right? They come into the ranks. Well, okay, I'm going to join what you're doing. I'm going to join this religion, say one God. That's why when He passed, they went their way. So they act like it's a favor. We never act like it's a favor that we have become Muslims and believers. Be grateful that you're a Muslim and a believer. And I always point this out. You go to ayat 6 of Baqarah. Allah said there are those among the disbelievers that whether you warn them or do not warn them, they won't believe. That could have been us before we became Muslims, right? He says, sawa, level. It's the same whether you warn them or do not warn them. Why? Because Allah Allah has put a seal on their hearts, and on their hearing, and on their sight, a covering. That could have been us. Be grateful, right? That there are those among disbelievers. Read ayat 6 of Baqarah. He says, whether you warn them or do not warn them, he uses the word sawat, level, stand level, right? When he says sawat, whether you warn them or don't warn them, they won't believe. And it ain't because of them. It's something that Allah said, why? Because Allah, seal of time, has sealed their hearts where they can't get this deen, man. Be grateful.